Welcome tonight. It's August 12th, 2020. This is Ed Walsh. For personal reasons, Kim's asked me to run the meeting tonight, just for this one meeting. This is not easy. It's been a very sad week in the town of Acton. This week, lost two very good people. First was late last week, Clarence Langley passed away. He was a ballot clerk for over 5 years, working with Jennifer at the town hall. Very good person, happy to do whatever he could do to help out. He was the father of Dave Langley and the grandfather of District 1 Road Commissioner Will Langley. The Langleys, of course, I think probably brought the paperwork with them to sign up the town of Acton as a town. They've been in town pretty much all their lives. They date back, I was going to say decades, but I think it literally goes back centuries. In a conversation I had with Dave one time, he did say, his family has been in town probably pretty close to longer than anyone else. So I just wanted to pass on condolences to the Langley family in the loss of Clarence Langley. It was Dave's father and Will's grandfather. The second person we lost this week was our District 2 Road Commissioner, Joe Letourneau, passed away Monday, very unexpectedly. He was only 42, and Joe has been in town for a good long time. I don't know exactly how many years. It's 20 plus, I know. I first met Joe when I bought my property up here through a mutual friend we had in Portsmouth. He put me in contact with Joe that wanted to hay my field for his cows, and he did. That was the first contact I had with Joe. He was one of those people that you just liked the minute you met him. Like I say, he was a District 2 Road Commissioner. He stepped into that position 2 years ago after it was vacated by one of our other road commissioners. He's been one of the only a couple of year running road commissioner that's been appointed and not elected. He was due to be, his term was coming up next year. Was probably going to run for it again and could possibly have gotten it for another term. But he's been through 2 winters, and this would have been his 3rd winter coming up. He's held that position in town here. He worked with DW Excavation and Plowing. That would be Dave Winchell. Prior to that, Joe had his own business, Earthworks. He had another business. I can't remember the name of it, but it had something to do with forestry products and whatnot. He was basically, he was a logger, wood person, gravel guy, site work. He built the first walkway we have at the town hall, the main walkway that goes right in between the library and the meeting hall. He built that walkway, and the planters that are there did a fantastic job on that. And that kind of led us to upgrading the front of the town hall, and it looks great. Both with Joe and his wife Mary, they run, which was keeping it local, a nice little coffee shop, store, sandwich shop, not a sub shop, but a sandwich shop in Shapley, right on 109. Over the last year or so, they've been building a new building 2 doors down. It's now, keeping it local is now called Local 130. It's going to be a restaurant, and it still has, right now it has drive-up service for sandwiches and coffee and whatnot. They've put a lot into that, and I know that was going to be their life moving forward. Hopefully Mary will continue that, and with the help of a lot of good people around her, continue that and make it work. They have a good following. I don't know, there really isn't a lot more to say, but You know, it's hit the town pretty hard, and it's hit the staff at the town hall and all of us quite hard, because, I mean, we work close with everybody that we have, that whether they're elected, whether they're appointed, whether they're volunteers, all these people they're great people. And when we lose one like this, especially tragedy like this, you know, when you lose someone, it's always, you're never ready. I don't care whether you know someone that, you know, my father in particular, you know, he had a little connection with the town here as well, and especially the church. You know, I knew several years prior that he was going to pass away. But when it happens, you're still never ready. In this particular case, this didn't have a sign of happening. And I get a phone call at 9:30 at night from Jen saying that he passed. I feel as though I lost a brother, really, and I know the rest of us feel the same way. So, you know, we're very close to all these people, whether we're, you know, I won't say at odds, because we're not, you know, with people, but whether we're, however we're dealing with them, you know, we like everyone that we deal with, and we work with them. And particularly Joe, he stepped into this position. I basically talked him into it. It didn't take much talking. He was happy to step up and help out the town. And you know, he invested a fair amount of money in buying trucks and whatnot to do this job too. So, you know, it's just very sad that we've lost someone like him. You know, it's hard. So the family has asked for privacy during this time. So you know, no postings or anything like that on social media, or you know, it's up to them. It's their loss. It's all of our loss, but they are the ones that have the closest loss to this, and we must respect their wishes. So even during, you know, things like public comment and you know, like I mentioned, social media and whatnot, just ask that we just, you know, don't go into anything on that. We don't know anything yet about arrangements. They're working on that. Just keep an eye open for the arrangements, or you know, possibly, I hate to put it on Jennifer or any of us, call us if we know of anything. We'll definitely pass it on. So you know, so definitely our thoughts and prayers are with both these families, both the Langley family and the Letourneau family, you know, during this time. So, and once again, please respect their privacy. So, if the other members of the board don't mind, I'd like to dedicate this meeting tonight to both of them, and you know, move forward in their memory. So, with that, I'm officially going to call the meeting to order. And our first item is pledge the flag. And if we could at the end, just have a moment of silence. So, all rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice for all. A moment of silence, please. Thank you. Okay, folks. Town Administrator Weekly Update. Jen, it's all yours.
Yeah, no, thank you. Can I take this as my pass?
You all set?
Not really.
No, it's a rough one. I know it is. It's rough for all of us. So,
Okay.
All right.
what was yours?
I'm sorry?
The floor is
I
all
know.
yours.
I know, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay,
Take
no,
your time.
But all right.
Okay. So the first item is just a reminder, a notice to all of the board members that
Sorry.
Kim, you gotta stop because I can't. All right. On August 21st, Ed, as the liaison to land use, is going to be meeting me and downstairs staff at 9 o'clock to go over the assessing changes when we had the COVID shutdown. Some of you might remember that we had a staff member that worked from home and did some cross comparisons of the Trio software and cardiographic. So we're going to be working on that. Next item is just to let the board know that there is a Freedom of Information webinar being held from Maine Municipal on the 26th of August from 2 to 4:30 that I'm going to be signing up for. The auditor is going to be here tomorrow and Friday of this week. We have sent everything that they've asked for in advance, so they will be reaching out to you guys just to talk to you, off the record without Michelle and I present. So look for those calls. Town report memo. We are at the end of a fiscal year, and I think it my life's mission to get one of these town reports done within 30 days or the 60 days of the fiscal year ending. So I've put together a memo that I won't read you line for line. You've approved it in the past, but I've changed a paragraph, so I need your approval for it. It's the intent of the board to get this year's town report out at a much faster pace than last year. With that said, this year's deadline is September 1st. We realize this is only 2 weeks away, but feel it's imperative to get this document published sooner. Based on current visitor logs being kept in-house, we feel this date is feasible. If any committee or department needs help over the next 2 weeks, please reach out to the town administrator. I chose September 1st because that's the date that's in the road commissioner's ordinance. And if theirs has to be in by September 1st, there's no reason that everyone else's can't. These documents have just got to go to print quicker. So that's September 1st. I mean, I know it's only 2 weeks, so you guys can certainly step in. That's just my recommendation. But September 1st for a couple of committees is going to be September 5th. It just thoughts.
I think that's fine. There hasn't been a lot going on outside of daily town activity, town business this year. It should be relatively easy for a lot of these committees to put something together in that time period.
David, Kim, you okay with that date?
Yeah, I think it's good. It's better to start early because we know how it just.
Right. I mean, in the fiscal year ended June 30th.
Yep.
So technically, the information that we're putting in this town report is supposed to be through June 30th. So we should be done gathering at this point.
Yep, sounds good to me.
One of the things that I did not put in your packet that I have nice copies clipped together from the treasurer for, I will scan and email it to you. I need you to take a look at it. You've got a little bit of time, but it's the asset list of the town of Acton that she's asked you to review. There's a section for the school, townwide, transfer station, buildings, highways. It's everything that the town of Acton owns, and the original cost, the replacement costs, and any debt tied to it. This is for the auditor for cross checks and balances with insurance. So I apologize, it's not in your packets. It's been a long couple of days, so I'll get that email over to you and you can take a look at it. I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
Executive order that came out dated August 1st. It does not have a lot of, I mean, it could pertain to some things with Acton, but essentially the governor has increased the outdoor activities from 50 to 100, and that is effective August 1st. So let's see, for reasons and upon the authority set forth, establishing a gathering limit, increase the limit to, from 50 to 100. So still outside, this is outside only, and this is still using the 6 feet gathering. And it's 5 people per 1,000 square feet.
How many per square?
It's the limit on the number of persons for outdoor gathering is 5 people per 1,000 square feet of outdoor space, or not more than 100 persons, whatever is less.
Okay. Thanks.
The limit on the number of persons for indoor gathering remains at 50.
And when does this go into effect, did you
It
say?
went into effect August 1st.
Okay, I thought that's what you said. All right, thank you.
Alarm issue, you guys are aware that we had not an issue so much with the alarm, it's not an alarm issue, it's a battery issue. When the power went out, it trickled and it did something to the alarm system. So that unfortunately staff for, a day and a half, 2 days had to keep, it just beeped every, I don't know, hour probably. So it's a bit of a nuisance, but we got through it. It has been replaced and fixed. They were out here yesterday. So the alarm issue has been corrected. I've got a request from the road committee chair. I think you saw the emails that that went around. So she had a road committee meeting scheduled for Monday the 10th. I checked with her that morning, and she was not able to get a quorum. She, really believes that the reason for that is people's ability to be able to get on Zoom meetings. She has very vocally displayed that, to you guys and then to me again. And I did tell her that I would ask you, which I intended to do last week, but we didn't meet. She would like the road committee to be able to meet in the town hall. She does reference the fact that you have your executive sessions or meetings there, and doesn't understand why her committee would be any different. I do have the in-house meetings and September schedule on the agenda, and we can kind of think about it for a couple of minutes. We can talk about it in more detail when we get down there. Is that okay? Yep. Last thing I have, because I have an extremely large agenda tonight, is just an FYI that DOE permits are out for any of our hunters and residents that are interested in applying for a DOE permit. Now's the chance. That's all I have, Ed.
Okay. That's all you have?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Jen. Appreciate that. Warrants and bills, I've been in and signed. Kim, I know, is signed. Dave, I think you did get in. Yeah, you get in and signed. I noticed when I signed Dave, there was one that you didn't sign. I don't know if you went back in and did it or not.
Well, and I'm not sure that Dave went through all of them, and but Dave didn't sign the payroll for some reason. He signed the outside, but none of the payroll. I don't think it was intentional because he signed all the other bills.
Yeah, it was tucked in there, and I had a hard time finding it. So I think maybe, I don't know.
David, you didn't intentionally not sign the payroll, right?
No, I don't know which one. No, I thought I signed them all. I was going through. A lot of times, what I'll do is I'll go through them, and I probably just forgot to go back.
Yeah, you signed the bills. I think it was the overall warrant, which is the one that we send off. So not a big deal. You signed everything else, and we have a quorum.
Yeah, it was tucked in with the bills, and I think it was in there backwards. I had a hard time finding it. So okay, good. Approval of the agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Any further discussion? Call for a vote. Kim?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
I vote yes. Okay. Okay, now we got to approve the minutes of the last few meetings. We have July 22nd, July 27th, July 29th, and August 10th. 2 of those, I think, are executive sessions that we had, and 2 are regular meetings.
All right, I'll make a motion.
Nope, I was just yawning.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the last 4 meetings, July 22nd, July 27th, July 29th, and August 10th.
We hear a second? You second that, Dave?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Okay, moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the last 4 meetings. I'm not going to read out the dates again. We've done it 3 times now. So, any further discussion? Nope. Call for a vote. Kim?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes. yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, department heads committee chair updates. Do we have any?
Not that ever reached out to me, but I don't, I mean, everyone's mic is off. I mean, your last instruction, as I understood it, was that you wanted to know ahead of time if they were going to be on the agenda. I mean, I can go through real quick and see what chair members we have present if you'd like.
Yeah, we've
To
only
see if
got, yeah, from what I see, we only have a couple, so.
I
Maybe.
don't think we have any chairs,
No,
unless I'm
I
missing it.
Yeah, I see just one committee, I mean, just one department head, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe two, yeah.
Yeah, there's a few members, but I'm going through the
Yeah.
chair list. But
Yeah.
worst case, they can speak at public comment if we miss them.
Yeah, and it starts with the chair, so.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Old business. Committee and department openings.
All right, so in your packet, sorry. Nope. All right, so in your packet, you have the spreadsheet that we've been working off of. So, and Selectmen, some of these are elected, so we don't deal with them. So, Board of Assessment Review, that's going to be on our next project list. So, capital improvement. I need to know by looking at that list how many, you decided that it was a 3, 4, 5 member board, is that correct?
I think we decided on 5.
Okay.
Yep.
So what am I doing with this list? You can see 4 that I believe are interested.
Can we send them emails to ask if, you know, they want to be on these committees or not? Because we need to, if not, we need to.
Well, I mean, I guess send them an email from when. I mean, I don't have any reason to believe that they don't. I mean, no one's come to me and said that they don't want to. You know, I don't know if the board.
So we need one more person by the looks of it, right? So.
I still think we have an issue. We still haven't approved the policy,
I can't.
capital improvement, you know, the job duties. We haven't thought,
Right.
So we really don't want to approve. We don't want to put these guys on this. It's a new committee, so it's not like they're in limbo. I mean, we've got the stuff from Michelle the other day. Trying to go over all that. Trying to get an idea of exactly what duties are.
Yeah, we probably ought to have a job, not a job description, but a description of what they're.
All right, so let me.
Yeah.
So we can.
I know that
Go ahead.
we got stuff from Michelle. I mean, I can work with you on it, you know, in the next week or so. I mean, try to get something together, and then we can, you know, propose it to you two if you want something like that. You know, kind of go through it, and then you can pick and choose if you want something different, or I don't know. What do you?
Did you have a chance to review the sample policies that we put together?
I looked through it, but I mean,
where you guys didn't meet last week and it's such a long agenda, I'll put that capital improvement. I'll put that capital improvement policy on next week, and we'll start working on a draft. I mean,
okay,
you and I can work on it during the week, but we can't do anything without the other two. So maybe by next Tuesday we'll have a draft for them. So,
At the same time,
I'm sorry.
at the same time, we're still looking for one more person on that committee.
Right, we still need another person, so we still have to advertise.
Maybe by the time we get that all figured out, we can one vacant spot so that we can roll with it.
You need 1 or 2? Just one opening, 1 vacant.
Well, I think.
I think 5 people, including someone from the board on there, is sufficient, I think.
Okay. All right, so we'll get on working on something for you with that. Cemetery committee, we've got those all set. Conservation force is elected. So, Mary Grant, I will be ready to have those appointments. I'll have those appointments ready for you next week. I'm waiting to hear from one person, but the rest, at least the majority of those, will be on the agenda for next week to be signed.
Okay.
Planning board, after tonight's appointments, you'll have just the 2 alternate spots, and I actually have somebody that's already reached out about that, so we'll talk about those when we get to appointments. And then it's the rec committee. That one has, with no fall sports, it's kind of hasn't been top priority. As you can imagine, the planning board and other issues have been. So I'll start working on that. I know that at least 2 of those people are interested, but I'm not sure yet on the rest. And there's nothing else on this list that we need to discuss tonight.
Okay.
Can we call the Acton School and have them maybe put something up on their board about the rec committee meeting members, where school's going to be starting pretty soon? Maybe that would jump out at some parents, maybe.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else under committee and department openings?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. In-house meetings, September schedule.
Yeah, so this kind of ties to the road committee chair question. You did authorize a party of some sort. That was going to be on a weekend event. My phone is ringing. They want to know if they can use the hall. Committees want to know if they can start meeting. I mean, where do we think we're at with this?
Didn't we say September 1st?
We did.
We said August 1st.
Yeah,
Well, then we changed it,
we
so
bumped it to
September 1st.
So
Do you
I'm fine.
think?
I'm fine with September. I think it's
Yeah.
time to open and get moving forward.
Yeah, me too.
September 1st.
Yeah, and as far as the meetings that we've had, they've been executive sessions, and those are extremely difficult to do via Zoom, both from being able to actually sit and talk to the people and from a security side. That was probably our more concerning side, just to make sure that, it's, executive sessions, we can't tape, there's no notes, there's no nothing. We just, this technology has been around a little while, but it's still new. So
Okay, you can't see who's in the other room. And,
exactly,
But,
and that's our only reason why we did it. And if you look at the hall, you watch our meeting, it's filmed. We're masked, we're separated by plexiglass, and we've done everything we could do. So.
And we've intentionally left everything out. Nothing else is on the agenda. I mean, we've taken everything off. So
Right,
nothing
that's the
else
only
is
thing
in.
that we discussed. So that's the only reason why we did them that way. So, but I think it's time to get back to business here with the precautions and move forward.
So masks will still be required if they come into the meeting, and we'll set the chairs apart best we can.
Yep, and move the front tables back as far as we can, so we can allow as many people in the front as we can, in the audience, and go from there.
Okay, got it.
Is that okay with you, Dave and Kim?
Definitely.
Good idea.
I'm ready. Yep.
Okay. Good. Okay, personnel policy.
All right, so these are the changes recommended by the treasurer and myself. I tried to highlight. I know yours isn't in color, but let's go through them, please. The first one is on page 3, so there's no changes to page 1 and 2, so you can flip those right over. Under B, the very first one, I'd like to add
One second, Jen, there. I just got up. Where are we now?
We're on page 3 of the personnel policy. At the top, it says B.
Yep.
Okay. So looking to add the sentence at the end, this is all regarding timesheets and payroll for those of you that don't have it in front of you. Submission deadlines are subject to change occasionally throughout the year with notice due to holidays, closures, and planned absences.
Yep, understandable.
Okay. D is something that came up at a staff meeting that you guys should recall. This is regarding the closing. So, and a staff member brought this to your attention. So we need to address how you want to handle it. So it says the employees may be excused from work due to reasons outside of their control as determined by the Board of Selectmen and or town administrator, such as snow days, extended holiday breaks, or building maintenance issues. So when we closed Wednesday because there was no power, all of the staff got paid.
Yep.
The extended holiday breaks, Michelle underlined as a reminder for the Board of Selectmen to talk about it. So this means that we're closed on Thanksgiving for Thursday and Friday. We have always in the past paid hourly staff for Thursday. They had to use, we were closed on Friday, but they had to use flex or vacation time if they wanted to be paid on that Friday. It was pointed out that the extended holiday breaks was in there and last year, and the board reviewed it at the time and determined that, you know, it sounds, based on that, it sounds like the employees will get paid. So you changed it that year and the hourly employees got paid. So the question really is whether you're going to leave that section in there or you're going to take it out.
Years prior to last year, go back 2, 3, 4 years, employees have always used their flex time or whatever, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. I would say we pull that out because, I mean, I think we're really good to the employees, and I think this was not intended the way that it was written. So, yeah, I won't go as far as calling it a loophole, but it's something that got overlooked. So, Kim?
I always hate to take things away, but
Well, I think also,
I know it wasn't like this before, and then we did some work on it, and
Yeah.
so
Jen, tell me if I'm wrong. If we decide that we want to pay someone for those, so it's an all or nothing, I realize. Pay the employees for the second day. We could do that. Couldn't
Not
we?
based on your policy, because the policy, the holidays are clearly spelled out.
Okay.
And Michelle is actually, as you're going to see a little later on, recommending that you take out a blurb that you have the right to adjust the holidays, because it's year to year, you know what I mean? There's no consistency for the staff.
Okay.
I just, you know, I'm going to say what I said to you guys earlier, or to Ed, I think,
And I
when I was
guess-
talking to you.
Okay.
yeah.
And this, you know, when I'm looking at this, I'm trying to look at it from your point of view. You know, not as an employee, because my employees that I have work extremely hard, and I would absolutely love to pay them for every time we close and not have to do that. But if I'm thinking about it with my Shapley Selectman hat on, I'm thinking about the fact that I have a town administrator in Shapley, a code enforcement officer over there, and a clerk that probably, you know, that every single week get paid for 40 hours and probably work 45 to 50 on an average. Salaried people will get paid for the day after and wouldn't have to use flex time. That is one of the few perks of the salary, and that's the conversation, Ed, that you and I started to have.
Right.
And just for full clarity, because I obviously am a salary employee, right now I have 128 hours of vacation time on the books. So this has no direct reflection on me. So I just want to make that clear. But when thinking about code enforcement here and the treasurer here, you know, the treasurer is going to work extra hours because of the audit, the code enforcement, you've got a town clerk that's running a November election. I mean, what are the benefits to the salary position? This is one of those few things that the salary would get that the hourly wouldn't. And I agree with you, Ed. They are paid well, and there's good benefits. I mean, the benefits in Acton are extremely well. And I think that I agree that loophole is a tough word, but I don't think that's how it was intended.
No, it was not. I mean, I think I was on the board when we put this together, and it goes back quite a number of years.
But it was a valid point last year, and it was paid.
Right. Oh, yeah. No.
You just got to decide, but it's kind of, you know what I mean? You're trying to find a happy medium between the two, so.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's all right to take it out. I guess I just kind of misunderstood D, and I've read it, and so if we do close due to snow days, that's out of their control and stuff. So I think it's fine. to take it
I
out.
mean, I think one thing we look at too is, you know, we only have to pay for federal holidays, certain holidays, not all of them. There's only certain ones we have to pay for by law. At the same time, if they're getting paid for days of getting snow days off, that's a free day for these guys. So I think it all works. So I mean,
Yeah,
how many times last year we shut the town hall down? Probably not a lot last year. Wasn't a lot of snow.
Well, I mean, for holiday purposes, we're talking about two. We're talking about probably the day after Thanksgiving, and we're talking about, depending on how Christmas falls, I try to give them a little
Yeah, but
extra.
my question was, how many days did we?
They
Well,
get
the
more
town
paid
hall.
days off. Between snow and power outages, they're definitely gaining more than we're losing.
That's what I was getting
Okay.
to. So you're taking one, you're making it on that side. You might be losing out on the other side, 1 or 2 days. So
And you are very generous with a lot of the other, you know, so I don't think there'll be any, you know, but Michelle was just looking for clarity, so. So the sentence will read, so and/or town administrators such as snow days or building maintenance issues.
Yep, that sounds good.
And down at Article 9, so,
That was funny. I was just thinking of this.
so, she is recommending that, that we take out the line, the Board of Selectmen reserves the right to approve additional paid holidays, because, you know, we're looking for consistency throughout the policy, consistency with each department. We're talking about time and a half and vacation. I mean, these are the holidays that the town pays. They're state holidays, they're federal holidays. You know, we don't need to be adding, you know, full moon Sunday or these, you know, it's a good list of holidays, and it's a very giving list.
Yeah, there's 12 of them.
Yep. So on New Year's Day, the only change there was the new, because that wasn't on there before. And then the Columbus Day was renamed by the governor, so that's been corrected.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
then
I'm against that correction. I just want to state my case.
I'm not.
But it will stay the way it is.
Okay.
I mean, we'll leave it at Indigenous People Day. So.
Ugh.
All right. So B next. Let's see. Okay. So this used to say employees working a holiday shall receive time and a half pay. It now says hourly and non-exempt employees. So if you decide that, you know, that we're going to be open on Thanksgiving, your hourly employees will get time and a half, salary will not, because they're exempt. So that's just clarification that, you know, we'll use me for example, doesn't matter how many hours you work, there's no time and a half. So that's just a clarity. Pay time off, the only change there is removing the fire chief, because you guys changed that back to a part-time. No changes in the PTO at all. Next one is G. We added this line because we need to get clarity and make sure that the paper trail is flowing in the correct direction. So it already said employees wishing to take PTO time must complete the request for time off form a minimum of 7 days before the request. The added line is going to say, with your approval, this request shall be submitted to their immediate supervisor, who will then deliver it to the town administrator within 24 hours. That's just a paper trail so that, you know, regardless of where it is, we make sure it gets upstairs and you guys are notified. Nothing else on 5, nothing on 6, nothing on 7, nothing on 8. So unless you have other changes, that's the only changes that Michelle and I found as we went through it.
What about page 8? Under Article 21 resignation, you have give a spot there. Is that supposed to be changed?
Well, the amended date?
Yeah.
That's just the date that this is adopted and has.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, that's just to highlight it for me to remember to fix it once you guys make a motion to approve it with the changes.
Okay, I just saw it highlighted. I didn't know if you
I'm fine with all that.
Can we make a motion?
I believe
We ready? All right, let's make a motion to accept the Town of Acton personnel policy as written.
I'll make that a
2000
motion. You doing the?
I was
You
just
doing
gonna-
it? Oh, I forget you're not here tonight. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I did.
Sorry.
Been moved and seconded to accept the Town of Acton personnel policy. If I could just change that a little bit, Kim,
Yep.
to say as presented tonight.
Okay, as presented.
Yep. So it's moved
All right.
and seconded. Any further discussion? Call for a vote. All in favor? Kim?
Yes.
Dave? Yep.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay. Okay. New business, resignations.
I believe you have the resignation in your packet.
I do.
And if I can just, before you read it, for some, you may recall, and I don't know if I told you guys this, but for anybody following along in the public, a couple of weeks ago, or the 29th, it feels like 6 weeks ago, but when you had the other planning board resignations, this resignation was sent in on Wednesday, July 29th. But if you look at the, that's why I put the whole email in there, so you can see that Ken nor my email address was correct. It's just a mistake on someone's part. That's why we didn't get it and we didn't have it. After the call came in, I did reach out to the individual and make sure they had the right address should they want to send it.
Yep.
So,
Yep. And I think that the time that it did come in, it was too late for the meeting anyway. So.
I mean, in all fairness to him, the email was dated at 10:05, so I could have had it on the agenda. That's
okay.
what his concern was. I just never got it in my box.
Right. Yeah, it was wrong email address, correct? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Okay. Resignation here. I am resigning my position on the planning board effective immediately due to a continual harassment of our chairman by incompetent members of the selectmen. That's how it is written.
That's awesome.
It has been an honor to work with such professional leaders as Joyce, Jim Crowley, and if I will just say, Joyce was the first one that resigned. So he's dated this 7/29/20. So what is your wishes on this resignation?
Make a motion to accept the resignation of Jim Crowley from the planning board, effective immediately.
I'll second that.
The second is to accept the resignation of Jim Crowley. Any further discussion?
I do. I got something to mention. Yeah, the immediate to the continual harassment of our chairman. When you give a resignation there and you're throwing all this stuff, I don't understand the continual harassment. So at one point in life, if he would like explain to me where we continually harass anybody, I would like to know. I am glad to second that.
Moved and seconded. And discussion, and I guess any more discussion?
Nope.
Nope. Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. Kim?
Yes.
Dave? I didn't hear that, Dave?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I vote yes. So, okay, appointments. We have,
So, with these, as you're aware from the individuals that you were able to meet with, we've got some interest in the planning board. I did sit down with code enforcement to go over the dates on everybody. We wanted to make sure that things are staggered well. Currently, you have one member of the planning board, and his term expires in June of 2021. So the first one that I'm presenting to you is for Gavin Maloney, and is the recommendation of code enforcement, and the individual would accept a 3-year term as the senior member. The next ones that you have, one of them has a 3-year term, and 2 of them has 2-year terms. To stagger it, and one's got a little more, what might be a little more background municipalities. So we chose him for the 3-year, but they certainly can be adjusted if you so choose.
okay. So we have, as Jen has spelled out, we have 4 to appoint. 2, it's basically 2 and 2. 2 for a 3-year, 2 for a 2-year. You want to do these in groups of 2 apiece, where they're both the same expiration year?
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, I'll read these off.
Okay.
We have Certificate of Appointment, Title 30A, MRSA 2602. Selectman's Office, Municipality of Acton, 2. Gavin Maloney, and it is also going to be to Nathan Tapscott. The Selectmen of the Municipality of Acton do, in accordance with the provisions of the laws of the state of Maine, hereby appoint you as Planning Board member within and for the Municipality of Acton, Maine, until 6/30/2023, and that is the same on both of these. Given under our hand this 12th day of August, 2020. What is your wishes?
I make a motion, we appoint Gavin Maloney and Nathan Tapscott to the Acton and as an Acton planning board.
Okay.
And I'll second that.
Moved and seconded to appoint Gavin Maloney and Nathan Tapscott to the planning board, and their expiration will be 6/30/2023. Any discussion? Calling for a vote then. Kim?
Yes.
Dave? A little louder, Dave.
Yes.
Thank you. And I vote yes. Okay, so that is those 2. Okay. So the next 2 we have John, help me with his last name, Jen.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Clay?
Clay?
Clay? Yeah,
I'm gonna
Q-U-A.
call him Mr. Q.
Okay. So we have John Quay and Christopher Whitman. I'll read these like I just did. Certificate of Appointment, Title 30A, MRSA 2602, Selectmen's Office, Municipality of Acton, Maine. To John Quay and Christopher Whitman, the Selectmen of the Municipality of Acton, do in accordance with the provisions of the laws of the state of Maine, hereby appoint you as planning board members within and for the Municipality of Acton until 6/30/2022. And that is the same on both of these. Given under our hand this 12th day of August, 2020. What is your wishes?
Make a motion with appoint John Quay, Christopher Whitman, the acting.
And I'll second that.
Moved and seconded to appoint John Quay and Christopher Whitman to the planning board. Expiration date of 6/30/2022. Any discussion? Call for a vote. Kim?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
And if, I'm sorry, after you vote in.
Yep, I vote yes. So those are approved.
So just a point of comment or interest that I should have mentioned in my weekly update regarding Mr. Tom Cashin. He did ask me to share this information with you. His is not a resignation because he's choosing to not be reappointed due to health concerns. He wanted to thank the members of the planning board and the board of selectmen for everything and over the years. He's very, very grateful and very happy, and just needs to focus more on him. So it had nothing to do with anything. He just, that takes precedence in his life. So it was his choice to just not be reappointed.
Definitely. His health is definitely number one.
Yep.
He's going to be greatly missed on the board. He's been on the board for, I think Gavin has been on for what, 16, 18 years? Tom, Tom is at least that long, if not longer. So I believe longer.
We did think he was going to be a regular, bounced up based on the other ones. Maybe now it's an alternate. I could give him a call.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see. So
I want to thank Tom too.
Yeah.
I think it was 30 years, something like that.
oh, I'm sure it is.
It was 30
Yeah.
years Tom was on the board.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was a lot of time, and I couldn't imagine it's been 30 years.
Good man.
Yeah, he is. Very good. Yeah, I actually have a set of plans that he drew up over 40 years ago for a camp that my father was looking to have built. So
Well,
I tend to remind Tom about that every so often. So,
well, we're definitely going to miss him.
yes, Tom's a
That's
great
for
guy.
sure.
Yeah. Okay. You said, Jen, that you may have one other person too. You wanted to mention it when we get down to this?
I may have one person that's interested in the alternate, but he's not ready to be reappointed. It's still
Okay.
still thinking about it. But I will start pushing. I'll start advertising for the two.
Yep. And I do have the person that I had spoke to you about did corner me and say he is interested. So we just got to find out if
Is he going to reach out to me?
He is, and we're going to see if he's lived in town long enough. That's the key.
Was he a year-round resident?
He is now, yes, as effective
What?
July, but I don't know.
Well, I don't think there's a time frame, but
Well, no, I
have
just
him
don't know.
call
I
me.
don't know. I just don't know if he switched over his driver's license and all that stuff yet, and actually became. I don't know whether he's a registered voter in the town yet.
Okay.
So
Have him reach out to me. I'll grill him and get him down to the.
there you go. I told him to give you a call, but I may have to just Okay. Okay. Generator.
Oh, the generator. So, am I the only one that feels like we lost power more times in the summer than we did last winter altogether?
Yep.
We had a pretty mild winter.
Oh my gosh. Well, and that's the case too.
Just at a point of interest, since 2014, because I keep a log on my generator, we've lost power 3 times, and it's been in the summer. So
I don't remember losing it in the winter last year, but. All right, so we have a generator that the town approved has been in place for now a year.
Yep.
And it is designed to keep the basics up and running, the power. I mean, everything's hooked into it, but it's still difficult to work on it, full time if the power's out. But what we found last Wednesday when the power went out was that the generator didn't kick on. There's some troubleshooting with the electrician. David was kind enough to come down, and together, everybody, well, I shouldn't say together, I just really watched and listened, but they determined that the battery was dead on it, and one of the reasons that this happened was because it wasn't running. It wasn't doing its self-check like it was supposed to. And I'll remind you, remember when we set it up originally?
Yes.
And we needed to have it done. Yeah, we won't go too far into that story, but
Yeah, you were going to get with me and set it up on my phone.
actually, I did find some emails today, Edward. It's not quite how we left it.
That's how I remember it. So
Yeah. Anyways, nevertheless, it is scheduled back to Wednesdays at 10 o'clock. It is a little loud. It runs for 10 minutes. I have delegated to staff that she's actually going to check it at that time. The problem is we had done it on a Tuesday. Nobody wanted to listen to it. The board told me to change it to Thursday morning. Well, nobody's here then. And then we don't have any idea when it stopped testing. Do you know what I mean? Or checking
Well,
itself.
I have an idea. They only had 0.4 hours on it, so it never really did. I don't believe it ever came on. They would have done the 0.4 hours or whatever it was, just setting it up.
yeah, within
So-
the first couple of days, yeah.
Yeah. So it never cycled. That's why the battery went. So it went through the whole time.
So now we have nice sticky notes that say Wednesday at 10, and my dear assistant will go out and open the door, make sure we can hear it, and we'll try to get on a schedule. In the meantime, in your packet, you will see a remote monitoring from your generator from the electrician. Hi, Jen, this is the remote monitoring I was telling you and David about. We'll look it over. So this comes from PowerPoint, who is the installers of the generator. So hi, Craig. I've attached the information for you to look at the generator monitoring system. It will connect the strongest cell tower in your area and then ping your phone with any issue. You need to get the app, have Wi-Fi, and the system is connected to the generator and doesn't use Wi-Fi. The initial price is $750. That is the price for the system, the installation, the first year of service, as well as labor and travel time. After that, it's approximately $150 a year for service. So we take this into consideration and we say, okay, well, we just paid for the battery and for the electrician to come out. I think it was about a $400 bill. So that just got your cost down to $350. I don't know enough about this kind of stuff. Is this necessary? Is it gonna, is it gonna help, or do we just keep going out manually? I hope we remember to check it.
I thought this had a monitoring thing on it, and that's why you were going to hook it into my cell phone.
See, and that's why those were the emails that I weren't going to bring up. No, we never bought that. You were supposed to. Yeah, you were coming out to look at it, and I'll show you later. You were coming out to look at it when it was. Remember when it was asked to move to Thursdays, but no, we never bought the extra piece. Maybe we talked about it, Ed, but
No,
we
I
never
was,
did.
I was on the understanding it came with it because you didn't want to put it on your phone. You wanted to put it on somebody else's. But
I
I might have forgot the first part of that.
I'm always trying to give that away. And I don't mind. I mean, because at least if it can go on. I can check it the next day. I mean,
Yeah. And if it doesn't, if the power's out, we don't have Wi-Fi, so it's useless to have Wi-Fi on this thing.
Well,
Do that.
I
So-
think what the Wi-Fi is supposed to do, it's supposed to contact and tell you that it's cycled.
Yeah, or if there's a
Right.
problem, why the power, when the power is on.
I
So
think the biggest reason why we
Yeah.
were talking about it was the reason that we know it's cycled. But
Yeah.
I think at this point, we know we have to make sure it cycles. Being open, I think will probably be all right for a little while. Maybe one of us, we ought to delegate, go fire
we
it up
did.
every
We
now
did
and
that
then.
as email as well.
I know.
What was that?
I said we did that via email as well.
okay,
So,
I'll take the responsibility. I goofed.
I didn't say anything. No, I didn't call you out. It could have been a different selectman. We've had it for a year and a
I
half.
think the words were, Ed, you remember the emails?
That was just about the phone piece.
Okay. Okay. No, I'll be happy to do it. I mean, I know small engines and stuff, so I've worked on generators as far as the engine side of it, so.
So we'll
Okay.
continue to monitor it, and then I'll put it on a calendar to have you check it once a month, or
Yep.
once every 2 months, or how often.
I'll check it once a month. Yeah.
I mean, really, I think
Maybe-
all we have to do at this point is if we just go down and log the hours once a month.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I don't even
think
That's
log
what
the
the
hours.
hours of the machine, yeah.
Yeah, just go
I
down
log,
and take the hours on it and just go from there.
I'll do it.
I logged my grandmother's hours.
Yeah.
I go over there Wednesday mornings to grocery shop, but I'm also there to make sure the generator kicks on and does its 15-minute cycle, and just write it down every week to keep a log. So,
Yep.
because for a while it wasn't working.
Yeah, I do the same with mine, except mine's not automatic, it's manual, but every time I do it, I log what the hours are and what the event was, so. Okay,
So,
yeah, I
know
don't
it's a
think
pain,
we need to spend the $750 right now to
no,
do that, so,
we're gonna keep it in the back of our minds.
yes. Yep,
All right.
okay, anything else on generators?
No, sir.
Nope, okay. GIS Internet Service.
So this time of year, for the period covering 11/1 to 2020 to 10/31 of 2021, you get the Cartographics GIS Internet Service Annual Maintenance Agreement. This was budgeted for. This has not gone up. This essentially is for the maps online and all of the layers. And while you're looking at this contract, like I said, it's word for word, short of the date change. I did compare it. We have had a couple of fluke issues going on with the maps that we've tried to sort out. And you should see the emails because I've been seeing you as the liaison. We had the tree growth issue that's been sorted out, and something's going on with on the server as far as the scheduled task and updating the information. But Cartographics has been logging in, sorting it out, and cross our fingers. We think it's completely fixed. I've been keeping Ken in the loop, and he's been appreciative and thankful of it. So I think we're in good shape, but we'll continue to monitor it. But as anything, if I don't know it's not broke, if I don't know it's not working, I can't fix it.
Okay. Okay, we got a proposal in front of us for GIS Internet Service. What is your wishes? Need a motion.
All righty. Make a motion to accept the terms from CAI Technologies, or actually GIS Internet Service. It's an annual maintenance agreement for the town of Acton for the time period 11/1/2020 through 10/31/2021. On this day, August 2nd, 2020. Should I also reference the
Dollar amount.
Yep. So it says here, the client shall pay a total amount of $2,400 under this agreement.
Okay, moved and seconded to accept the contract for GIS Internet Service. Any further discussion? Call for a vote. Kim?
Yes.
Dave? You better speak up, Dave. Every time you move, Dave, you can't hear it.
Yes.
Okay, and I vote yes. Okay, that's accepted. Okay, District 1 proposed work presentation.
So I've got Will here with us. I've unmuted him. Will, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
You hear
Okay.
me?
Yes, sir. All right, so in your packet, you have this is the paperwork that we used last year. It's like some H Road campground to prep for paving and reclaiming. I'll let him take it over, but you guys have the breakdown of the scope of work, the equipment that you asked for, Pike Industries quote, and he is following the ordinance by bringing it to your attention in advance.
Thank you.
So yeah, you guys all set?
So what do we got here?
So I met with a gentleman from Pike. I don't know. I want to say 3 weeks ago, and well, probably 2 weeks ago actually. And we rode all my roads, and I showed him the section on the H Road I want to do. And if you see on the quote there, you'll see I put the 2 marks there, and that's the price that he gave me. We've got to walk the road and whatnot, and so what we're going to do is we're going to do a total reclaim from the campground to an old match mark. I was going to get the house number the other day, but I totally forgot. I drove right by it, but it's the yellow house right before you go down the hill before the dump. And what we're going to do on the road, we're going to do 2 inches of 3/4 inch binder, and then we're going to do 1.5 inches of 1/2 inch surface on the top, because when we were down there, the Landscape Depot and Eastern Materials was hauling, pretty steady that day. And he asked if we had a lot of truck traffic on. I told him yes, what we see. So he recommended going with that a little bit bigger surface for the trucks that we have, and to get our longevity, because those 2 pits run, not year round, but in the summertime pretty hard. So he recommended that. So I said, okay, we'll go ahead with that. So And then you have the scope of work in front of you. We got to do some brush work. I got to change 2 culverts in the road, and I believe I do have 1 culvert in a driveway. I don't know if the gentleman crushed it with his tractor or what he did. I got to take a little bit closer look at it, and then I need to have Abbott Hill do some higher pruning for me. And I'm supposed to meet with him sometime this week and see if we can get going on that. But I told him I had to talk to you guys first, and then we'll go from there.
So the first page that I'm looking at says scope of work.
Yeah.
6 15-inch culverts you're replacing?
Yeah, they're each going across the road is 60 feet long, so
Okay.
the culverts are 20 footers.
Okay. And so all the culvert work looks like it's what, 2635?
Yeah, I put the 2 bags of seed, then a couple, and then some gravel to put on the top, so we're not paving them in because they're gonna grind the road anyway.
Right. Okay. And then the rest is just equipment.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just rough ideas, like we said last year. That's rough. I don't have much ditching to do. A lot of it's shoulder work to do. So I mean, because it's pretty flat going through there, but I do have a couple sections I have to re-ditch. So
Yeah.
I think the most longevity is going to be the culverts is what's going to be the most time consuming thing anyway.
Okay. And then Pike's bill, or Pike's side of it's what, 160,752, and
Yeah.
and what's the first part is what, reclaiming?
Yeah, the reclaiming. Yeah, is
19,988.
yeah.
So
And we
18740.
Yeah, and the other ones is I just had to put those together and see how much money I have in the end. I might do something in the end, probably more towards the end of the Godwin Road, because I won't have enough money, I don't think, to do what I want to do on the Acton Ridge. So, and there's a little bit more money because we ended up going. I was going to stop at Pat Doyle's, but we got to look at the road. We said, well, we might as well just go to that match mark. Then then it'll be done, it'll be over with, and we don't have to worry about it. If I'm going to put the money, that much money into it, I might also just go to that match mark, and then we won't have to worry about it.
Okay. You remember the gentleman's name from Pike?
Greg Brown.
Greg
Good
Brown.
job.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know him, so okay.
He's a real good guy. He works with a lot of the smaller towns, and he knows.
Yep.
I mean, he said a lot of them are still in the same boat that we are, and he said he'd work with me whatever we have to do. So he's all
Because I work with one in my day job in Rollinsford. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't the same person. I'd have to recluse myself from.
Yep.
No,
the Pike
They're a
side.
big company.
Yeah.
No, I think he also said the guys that'll do it are going to be coming out of probably Farmington. He said the probably going to be the crew that's going to do it.
It's hard telling where they come from.
That's right. That's what he said. He's like that's where I'm hoping. He said, but we'll go from there. And then
Last year we had a crew in Rollinsford that came out of was a local crew. I think it was the Farmington crew. This year they came out of Hudson. So
and then
that's wherever they got them from. So
then Sue Doyle's going to let them put their paver and stuff in her driveway and stuff, so everything will be off the road, and any material or anything like that, she said we could put in there. So everything will be off the road. So you guys are all set with that, and we can get going.
well, we'll discuss it. Kim, you're muted, Kim.
There we go. The dogs were barking. It looks good to me. He's done a good job. He's, got everything laid out here. So I'd say it's a go.
Dave.
Yep, also with me.
Okay. Okay. I don't know. Do we need to vote on that? No. Okay. I'm getting a shake of the head from Jen. So
Sorry.
okay.
And,
I just want to note that on the Pike quote, there are a number of roads on it. So we're just taking the first 2 items on the Pike quote, and it totals 180,740. So because the entire Pike quote is well over 350.
I did speak to him today as well. He called me in regards to another topic, and we talked about
Yep.
he wanted something signed from the town's point. We talked about that, so we'll work it out with him. He knows that'll be fine.
Okay. Okay, you're all set, Will. Thank you. Appreciate that.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Will.
Thank you, Will.
Thank you. Okay, 2020 tax commitment. It's that time of year again. It always happens right around Acton Fair time, and we're not having that this year.
All right.
So,
All right.
okay.
So we, Michelle and I met with Dennis Ruby today, your assessor. I'm going to bore you with some numbers as we go through things without overwhelming you. So the first thing you need to know about the 2020 tax commitment, 2020-2021, is that we had $5.5 million worth of new construction. $5.5 million worth of new construction. You're going to see a portion of that reflected in the new total taxable value, but 2.5% of that is going to be reflected in the homestead, because the homestead for everybody is changing. So if you're a year-round resident, you're going
Sorry.
from 21,000 to I gotta look at the number, 25,000. So it's increased. So let's try to go through these. I gave you a copy of the 19 and the 20. So you can see the total taxable value on the first line shows about a $3 million increase, and I'll show you where the other $2 million is in a moment. The personal property did drop from 734 to 684. That's just based on, different things moving out of town or different leases. So your total taxable valuation on the first line goes from 575 to 577. So that's the $2 million that we talked about in line 1. The total exemption, now this is where your other $2.5 million come in. So last year we had to account for 15,960, 15 million in regards to homestead, and we get reimbursed for 50% of that. So we would have gotten the 9.9. This year, because the exemption went up, it's actually 18 million, and we're going to be reimbursed 12.9. So that's where the other 3% comes from. So your total bottom line, if you look at last year's, your total assessed valuation base, last year was 585,422,781. This year it's up to 590,906.11. So your total valuation, what you're getting back, and based on the homestead, is over 5 million. That's impressive. So next, so we know that's our base, and that's what we start with as far as what we assess the residents. The next is the county tax. County tax last year was $309,239. That went up to $327,135. So there was no control to the town there. Municipal appropriation went from $2,910,000 to $2,954,000. We knew there was about a $40,000 increase when we went through the budget process. Everything passed the way it was. And then the local education, what has to be raised, the local share actually went down from $4,960,000 to $4,919,000. So at the end of it, what that looks like is the assessments, that the money that we are going to owe to the county, the municipal, and the school, last year were $8,179,000. This year you're at $8,000,002. So a very small increase, and that's really primarily because of the county tax and the small municipal appropriation with the extra purchases. So those numbers from 1 through 11 that we just went through, those numbers at this point, the Board of Selectmen, and I mean no disrespect, have no control over any of those numbers. They are the assessing numbers, they are the approved town numbers, they're the budgeted numbers. You can't change any of those numbers. But now is where you get to play. So the next line is the anticipated state revenue. Now, last year, the state estimated a revenue of $116,056. And when they anticipated that revenue last year, we put the entire number in the tax commitment. You can see the anticipated revenue was 116, and we put that full number in there. We did end up receiving 129,120. So they gave us more state revenue than they anticipated last year. That, of course, goes in the undesignated fund. This year, if you look at your 2020 tax rate, things are a lot different in 2020. And although they are estimating this year that we're going to get $130,750 of state revenue, the treasurer in no way feels confident that that's going to happen with all of the cuts and everything going on at the state level. She urges you to leave last year's number in hopes that we get that amount from the state. I mean, it's still Acton's money, so if it does end up coming in at the 130, you can put that extra money next year. But she doesn't recommend that we put in a number higher than what she feels like we're going to get. So the number you see there is 116056. That's based on last year's, but you do have some wiggle room with that if you'd like.
What was the number? What was the number that should have been on line 12? 130.
130, 750.
130.
130,750.
Okay.
So we're talking about $14,000.
Is that enough of a drop, do you think, or a difference? I guess.
Yeah,
well,
she's comfortable with that. She thinks we'll get it. She thinks we'll get the 116.
Okay.
And we may, but she just, based on everything she's reading and following, it's just not a good chance to take for the town, in her opinion.
Yeah, she sent us some things too.
About the state revenue sharing.
Yep, some things from the state, saying where things were, and we knew this was going to happen anyway. That's why we did what we did with our budgets this year.
Right.
And
that's exactly it. She expects those same things to ripple up in Augusta and find their way down when it comes time to revenue sharing. So she's trying to be, our end goal, and we know this, the end goal is to keep the tax rate the same. So if we can find a way to be cautious and keep the tax rate the same, that, we don't want to put the town of Acton in in this uncomfortable situation.
Right. And we'd said that from the very beginning, that we wanted to try to keep the tax rate exactly where it was.
Right.
And I guess I'll give a quick plug to all the employees and to all the department heads. You all worked very hard to do that. And even though we were able to kick a little extra money in the roads and whatnot, and so it looks like we've accomplished the goal that we set out to do.
Yes. The next line is the other revenues, and this has two pieces that you need to take into consideration. When we look at last year's other revenues, we used 1.54 million. Okay, 1,054,000. This other revenue is a combination of everything from your motor vehicle excise to your boats to building permits to transfer station. Last year it was gym fees, rescue service fees. Any revenues we have coming in from the town go into this line. And what we do is we start by putting, and we're working on this tax calculator, we start by putting the number of revenues just in this line. So last year, before we did anything, that number would have been 737,000. So 737,000 was in that number originally. Then what the selectmen do is they take a certain amount from the undesignated fund to bring that number up to where they want it, to where it's comfortable as far as the tax rate. Last year we used 300,000 from the tax rate, from the undesignated fund, and the revenues and the 300,000 totaled the 1,054,907 that you see on line 13. Mm-hmm. Now this year you can see that line 13 actually has gone down to 1,019,450. Now, when I first saw this, and Michelle and I started going through the lines, my first response was, didn't the auditor tell us to increase motor vehicle excise, what we're moving forward? Because the motor vehicle excise in the last few years has consistently gone up from 488 to 537, 569, 623. So it's gone up each year. So the auditor last year made a recommendation to Michelle and I that we increased the estimation because it's been more than it's been 3 consistent years of being up. So what we did this year is we took, instead of 737,000 of revenue, we started with a number of 769,907. So we increased our projected revenue by over $30,000. This is primarily from excise. There are some other small increases that we're expecting. So our base number here started 30,000 more than last year. So that's huge for the town. That's great. So now we have to decide how much undesignated fund are you going to want to add to that number to keep your tax somewhere where you're going to be. This year, we've only moved 200,000 forward from undesignated fund, and that brings us to 1,019,450. Now, that So you look at your total deductions and you look at your net to be used, raised by local property tax. That gives you the authority to set the tax rate. You're looking at line 17 and 18 at a minimum of $11.95 and a maximum of $12.55. And the other line that you want to really look at is your overlay line, which is line 23. Your overlay line that has 55,000 in it is the line that we use for abatements, for and as we get further and further away from a reval, we need that number to start rising, because we're finding more and more changes. We need to start thinking about a revaluation in Acton. It's been over 10 years, and it's something that we need to start talking about budget-wise. But setting all of that aside, with the increased revenues that the town hall has townwide, primarily excise, but with that, we were able to only move 200,000 forward, and it is our recommendation and the assessor from O'Donnell's to keep the tax rate at 1205. We did have the conversation of, using 300,000 more, 300,000 like we did last year. It's just not recommended to bounce the tax rate up and down, because it gets you in trouble the next year, and we just don't know what's going to happen with a lot of these numbers. So if our revenue sharing from the state tanks and we don't get any of that 116,000, there's that 100,000 that we didn't use from the undesignated fund that's going to have to quickly come over. So we're very pleased with these numbers and pleased to be able to present to you and recommend the same tax rate at 1205.
Because we originally were thinking anywhere between 300,000 and 400,000 out of undesignated fund when we, back when we were talking budgets and whatnot. So, and to hear that we only have to, put 2, that's huge. That's amazing.
It's a combination of a lot of efforts, but it's a combination of your increased assessment, that comes from your code enforcement. You've got $5 million in increased valuation, but you also, from last year alone, you're looking at 40, 50, 60, $70,000 in extra excise tax that your tax collector's office collected. So those two things are what are allowing you to, to do what you're doing.
What does that give us in our, so once this is done, we paid out the 200,000, what's it leave us with in undesignated fund?
So that's a number I will defer until next week. Don't get your pen handy, because I don't know. Undesignated fund balances are just such a fictitious number with the uncollected taxes and what's actually in the bank. With our auditor being here tomorrow and Friday, I will get you a number for next week, but I just don't know right now. Okay.
Comfortable saying $1 million anyway?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, $1 million. I believe the last conversation that we had with Michelle, and don't quote me on this, $1.2 million, $1.3 million. I know that the treasurer is very adamant and stays right on top of us having 3 months worth of bills.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and that's always been roughly what, 700,000 roughly? I think?
7 or 8. Yeah, I have to look. I don't want to answer something and be held to it because it's my department.
I'm gonna go by past years. So
right.
Yeah.
We'll rely on your memory on this one. My numbers are enough for tonight.
Yeah, well, you've been in them all day, so. Okay, I'm happy with 1205, and I'm happy with the 200,000. Kim?
Me too. I'm really happy.
Yep. Dave?
Yep, no, that's perfect.
This is one of the, Dave, this is the first time you've been on the board. Kim, this is, I think, your second year going through this.
Third. Yep.
Third year. Yeah, you're in your fourth now. This is probably the most complex piece of paper that we get in the course of the year. There's a lot to it, a lot of pieces. We're, once again, I'm going to plug the employees. We're extremely, extremely lucky to have and fortunate to have Michelle and Jen to go over these numbers and understand them, and more so to get them to us in a way that we can understand them, because it's like reading an audit. So, okay. I guess we need a motion to set the tax rate at 1205 and to move no more than 200,000.
Make a motion, we set the tax rate at 1205. And for what was the 200,000?
Move no more than 200,000 from under.
Move no more than 200,000.
For the additional revenues.
Yep, moved and seconded, great. Any further discussion?
No, I just want to put a plug into O'Donnell's and Associates as well. So it's always nice to have somebody from an outside source like O'Donnell's that has no interest in any of this, nor do Michelle and I on the tax rate. But for him to sit down with us line by line and we go through it, it's everybody looking at the different numbers, and that company is a huge asset to this town. They've done phenomenal work.
Very much so.
He knows it's calculated backwards, so we're happy to have him.
Yeah, very much so. Okay, it's moved and seconded to set the tax rate at 12.05, which is our existing tax rate, so there's no increase, and to move no more than 200,000 from undesignated funds to achieve that tax rate. So, any more discussion? Nope. Call for a
I
vote.
think so.
Okay. Kim?
Yes. Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Okay.
Final thought on that, Ed, is that if you are a year-round resident and you have a homestead, your tax bill will actually go down because of the increase in the homestead exemption.
Nice.
So go team.
Great. Great. Can we take a 2-minute break? Does anybody mind?
Not at all.
Okay. 2 minutes.
Hey, Cheryl, can you hear me? I'm trying to unmute you while they're on a break. Oh, there you are. Hey, so it's still being recorded. I just had a quick question for you. With that petition log can you hear me? I can't hear you. You're muted.
Can you hear me?
Yep, there you are. Where do we save that petition log you created?
It's under town administrator.
Under town administrator assistant folder that you have on
Yep.
there?
Yep. And then I might have put it under logs.
And did you,
It's in Word.
did you get any other emails from Amazon about that? Michelle just sent another one. Did you get anything else?
I didn't look.
They CC'd you in it. Apparently I don't want them back again, so we should be all set on that.
They do or don't want
They
them.
don't.
Okay, no, I hadn't looked before I left.
So Michelle will be here in the morning. You're coming in at noontime, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to leave you an inventory list. If you can work on that, I'd appreciate it.
Yep.
The auditor will be here, so certainly if she needs anything, motor vehicle reports, MVR3s, anything like that, free for all, take, whatever you need.
Okay.
I'll try and I'll be in here by 1 or 2, but if you need something before that.
Okay. Yep. I'll be leaving Shapley noonish and jumping right over.
I'm going to leave the transfer. Remember that when they came and picked up the voting machine?
What was that?
Remember when they picked up the voting machine?
Yep.
The one that we rented? I'm going to leave that slip on your desk. They sent, and we signed for it when he picked it up, but they're going to leave it on there. They've indicated via email that they never got it. That they never picked it up.
Okay.
But I've got the guy's signature that took
So,
it. So,
you want me to call them and see if they want a copy of that?
yeah, see if you can fax it to them or whatever and see how we can get to the bottom of that. Hopefully,
Okay.
town's probably just got mixed up, but I'll leave it on your desk.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Anything else, just don't hesitate.
Okay, thanks, Cheryl.
Okay. We are back. Everybody all set?
Yes.
Thank you for the break. Okay, now we're down to Article 43.
Okay, so I'm just trying to skim my emails. I feel like, and don't quote me, I didn't see her in the meeting. I feel like this was the one meeting that the chair had told us well in advance she wouldn't be at,
I believe
which is
so.
fine.
Yep.
It was tonight, yeah.
I believe so.
So you've got 3 applications before you. So, and you can see that we've filled out the dates on the bottom. So these have already been emailed to you on this date, and they've been sent to the road committee on those dates. So the first one that you have is Langley Shore. And actually, I think you have 2 for Langley Shore.
There is.
I put, or I shouldn't say I, Cheryl was kind enough to put a color separator between yours, except for you, Ed, because you wanted to sort it yourself. Let me just,
I don't think that was actually my intention, but okay, go ahead.
all right. So you have 3 anyway. So you have Langley Shore, and Lakeside Drive, right? And the Lakeside Drive and the second Langley Shore are both from, they're looking for funds from last year, if you will, in regards to the wording of it. Because of the delay, you had told a couple of roads that we sent them away to that you would reconsider them.
Yep.
So they're not going to have all of the supporting document that the new application asks for, but you guys had predetermined that was okay.
That's,
All right. So we have 2 Langley Shore. Sorry, I didn't get the color separator, so I sorted out here. 2 Langley Shore and 1 Lakeside. I did my best to photocopy the pictures that both of the roads submitted. They don't photocopy real well, but if you have any questions, you're certainly welcome to come here and look at them in person. Obviously, the original is better, and we will turn those over to the road committee as well. So I guess, from July 31st, if you had a chance to look at these, and I wanted to reach out to David because he and I kind of had a conversation, and just to make sure everybody's on the same page. Now that you've changed the process, so let's forget about the 2 because this is work after the fact, and we know there's nothing to go out and see. So forget about those 2. The current Langley Shore Drive one, the work that hasn't been done yet, they have their pre-estimates. Is it the Board of Selectmen's intention to go out and look at that work? Or, because that's how I took it, but David told me that was the purpose of the letters, right, David? Do you want to elaborate on that?
My purpose was to get the select board out of the going and inspecting and the bias and the unbiased and all that. That's why I wanted to have the environmental engineer or AWAR or DEP to go out and give us a written letter of what needs to be done, da 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 da. And I don't believe we have to look at it.
I
So
agree.
go ahead. So I said I asked that because the road committee chair, certainly she's going to abstain from anything on the Langley Shore, but the question was, is somebody expected to go out there? She had sent a couple of emails that she was available to meet with people. And when I relayed that to David first as the liaison, that's where the kind of conversation kind of came up that, why are we doing that anymore?
I mean, as far as us, I don't think we need to, as long as we have the documentation and everything. Isn't that what the road committee's for, though? Maybe to go out and look at it. Maybe when the project's finished. I don't know if they go out and check it too, just to kind of have documentation on their part to make sure things are finished. And I don't know. I mean, this is just a.
You have a quorum, and you have a quorum of people that are didn't have to abstain. I'm trying to pull up the ordinance real quick so we can. So section 2 duties says after deliverance from the Board of Selectmen, the road committee shall review any applications from road associations regarding Article 43 of the June 16th town meeting, make recommendations to the board. So you guys can't really do anything as I read it until they make a recommendation.
Right.
now that you've opened up the meeting for September 1st, I can't speak for Mrs. Berlin, but I expect that she'll probably schedule a meeting the 1st of September so that they can move on. So with that said, if they do that, will you guys be ready to make some sort of recommendation or possibly vote by then as well? Is there anything else that you want?
Well, we can't vote for anything until that we get a recommendation from them. So
Right.
what
They
we
need
gotta
to
do
look at
here,
this.
what we gotta do is make a decision tonight to send this off to them. See if they can finally get a quorum together so that they can go through it and make a recommendation and back to us. Obviously, be a meeting or two, and then from there on, that's when we just, if everything comes back clean, then it's obviously we make our recommendation.
So while they're waiting to meet, are you guys able to review the attachments and see if everything's in there that's required? I think that would be helpful. We could at least get ahead of it.
I mean, obviously, we got to look at it anyways. The simple reason is
We should.
we got to make sure that everything's on the up and up. And we last time approved it, and then one step. We just want to make sure that they're not forgetting a step. So, I mean, the both committee and the select board, we should be able to do that.
Yep. So we send it off to them and.
They have it. They received it the same time you guys did back.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
All right. So we'll work on going through these.
We'll look at, yep.
Make sure everybody's got everything they should.
So I'm to put it back on the agenda after the road committee gives me approved minutes, recommendations in it.
Yep.
Or minutes. They could be draft, I guess.
I would think Leslie would contact you after their meeting, and that's when you would be on the agenda. So.
Yep. Okay. You know where we're headed with that? Everybody understand it?
I think so.
Okay. Okay, I guess we're all set with that then. We don't need to take a vote to send it to them, it's just.
So was I supposed to wait? I mean, I sent it to everybody the same day.
No, I thought we talked about that when they came in, send them to everybody, and then, we'd look at them. We're waiting for them to get together to go over it, and then it comes back to us.
And we did, I sent it to everybody that had an email account. If they didn't, I mailed hard copies, and certainly anybody that would like a printed copy is welcome to come into the office, and we'll print them on our dime.
Yep.
And both those individuals did get them. So I talked to them.
Good, okay.
Okay, good.
So, with this meeting, it's official, it's official, we've sent it to them anyway, but it's meeting official that, they've got it, move forward with it, do what they need to do. So, okay, great. Commercial hauler permit, we have somewhere.
Thinking the same thing.
Pretty good, oh, good. I was thinking I might have put it in with the applications. Seems I just stapled them all together, but I didn't see a hauler permit.
So this is Travis Penny. He is our only commercial hauler in town. He has met all the requirements from my end in regards to the application fees, proof of insurance, the list of contractors. I've checked with the superintendent at the transfer station, and he doesn't have any concerns with the hauler. So looking to make the recommendation to approve it.
Did you put that in our packet, Jen, or is it?
I've got it.
Do you have it, Kim?
I do.
I'm gonna go with yes. There it is.
Yes. Do you want me to make a motion? Either one of you guys have it?
Please tell me you
I
have
found it. I found it.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I got carried. I was trying to, where I didn't get little separation things, it kind of messed me up.
Oh. Oh.
Cheryl, wait till he sees next week.
I know.
Don't listen to him when he says no next time.
She's just going to give me a pine tree next time. I got so much paper here. I thought I had seen the certificate, insurance certificate. That's why I went back looking. So.
And
Okay.
God love you. None of you have the original, so.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yes, Penny Rubbish and Light Trucking at the Sanford. We have his list of customers. We have his insurance certificate. The amounts, that's what, $1 million? So that's the right amount on that, right, Jennifer?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, what's your wishes? Need a motion to approve.
Make a motion, go ahead.
Make a motion to approve the application for commercial haulers permit. The applicant's name is Travis Penny.
Then the Penny Rubbish and Light Trucking.
Penny Rubbish and Light Trucking, yes. All right.
Do we hear a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, moved and seconded to approve Penny's Rubbish and Light Trucking as a hauler into the transfer station. Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. Kim?
Yes.
Dave? I think that was a yes, Dave.
It was,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you. And I vote yes. Okay, that's approved. Now we have a liquor license.
Yeah.
So what you have in front of you is an application for a catered function by a qualified catering organization. This is Destination Catering. They are a licensed caterer for the state of Maine, and because the event is being held in your town, they're required to file an application with the Board of Selectmen. This is a excuse me, one-day event on August 29th. Looks like 90 people attending. Looks like it's a wedding. You know, they have paid the application fee that was sent in with it, which is only $50 because it's a one day. You're not required to hold public hearings on these. It's, you know, it's really up to you with whatever direction. I mean, we might see one of the, I think this is probably the second one I've seen in many, many years.
Yeah.
It's, and it's up to you on what level you want to take it. I mean, we can call the sheriff's department in Kennebunk and find out if there's any concerns with this, you know, caterer. We can just sign off on it. I mean, we don't have any liability anyways. It's more of a just informational to you.
Yep.
But certainly whatever direction the board wishes.
They've got a license through the state of Maine, correct?
Right.
That's all I need to do.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I think we've had them before.
It's the same company, the same one last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are very few licensed catering events like this, so they are one of them. So.
Okay. What's your wishes?
I can't find the paperwork. I lost it somewhere in my pile here. So I make the motion, but I don't even want to make a motion. What they're called.
All right. I can make a motion. I'm going to make a motion to accept an application for a catered function by a qualified catering organization. The caterer is Destination Catering, Inc. out of Kennebunk, Maine. Is that about all we need?
Should be it.
Yep, on August 29th.
On August 29th, 2020.
Yep.
I
So
will
you're
second that.
moved and seconded. Great. Thank you. Moved and seconded to accept the application for Destination Catering for a one-day event. Any further discussion? Nope. Call for a vote. Kim?
Yes.
Dave? Oh, Dave. I think that was a yes. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Somehow, I don't know, somehow your mic cuts out, so.
Yeah, I've never heard his guess the first time in any of it all night either. So
Okay,
I don't,
good.
something's
That's
going
me.
on.
And I vote yes, so. Okay, that's all set. Okay, that's the liquor license. We are now down to public comment. Do we have anyone from the public? I think we
Oh,
have.
Yep, I do have at least one individual that reached out to the chairman in advance, but I'll go ahead and turn everybody on, and then if they want to speak, I will make the attempt to turn the cameras on. If they decline, we'll assume they don't want to.
Yep.
I'm getting you, Susan. I'm almost there.
Keep in mind, if your mic is on, you're going to be live, so watch what you're saying and background noise and whatnot.
Almost there. Oh, okay. We can start with Mrs. Meehan. She reached out to the chair prior, and she originally had asked, just for clarity for the full board, she had originally asked to be on the agenda. Based on the subject that Kim gave me, we decided that it wasn't really an agenda item. It was a very important item, but she did allocate her maybe a little more time. So bear with her, gentlemen, if she goes over that.
Yep.
And Susan.
Okay. Go ahead,
Okay.
Susan.
All right. The reason why I wanted to make a comment or whatever this evening was in reference to the volunteers. I did see on the website that we have, I believe, at least 5 committees that are looking for volunteers. And last week, or 2 weeks ago, I was really sad to hear that Joyce and Leslie were leaving the planning board. Personally, I think they're both really hardworking women, and as a result, I really do feel that the community lost. As with every small town, the volunteers are vitally important, and I was really sad to see them leave. I am also sad to see how many people are needed on these committees, and I started to wonder, what is the problem? And I know that there are times that the volunteers are not appreciated. And I know that because I was a volunteer on the warrant and finance. And I'd like to hear your response to why we need so many volunteers at this time. We need over 10 people, is my guess. And that is a guess.
I'll chime in with my 2 cents worth on it. It's not just these boards. Volunteerism is down in the U.S. overall, and I know this from the fire service. You see in our own fire department that we've gone from more volunteer semi-call to call with 2 full-time people, and paying more for the folks that quote unquote volunteer, their time. And there's an awful lot of people that are working 2 and 3 jobs. And that goes over and above the fire department. That's just life in general. Husbands are working, wives are working, they're working opposite schedules. One's home, one's not with the kids. It's hard. It's very hard for a lot of people. If you look at the boards that we have and you look at the folks that are on the boards and the folks that have volunteered in the past, you'll see there's not a lot of young people. It's a lot of folks that are retired or maybe work part-time. So, and this goes back, this has been like a 10-year thing. This is in the fire service anyway. The town that I came from, York, the fire department there has been totally volunteer with the exception of 3 paid guys, and the chief gets a stipend. 3 paid guys work a 24-on, 48-off shift. So there's only one of them there. Everyone else was totally 100% volunteer, not paid 1 dime. And that changed 2 years ago because, there's a lot of time, a lot of commitment, and some expense to do that profession, even on a volunteer basis. So, I mean, that's what I'm seeing. Should we be a little more, get our arms around the volunteers more? Probably we should. Sometimes we get wrapped up in day-to-day business, and we do tend to look at some of the volunteers as more of a staff, if you will. But even staff need it. Probably wouldn't, I mean, right now we're kind of limited on what we can do outside, but it probably wouldn't hurt to have some sort of a volunteer recognition day, night, whatever. So, good point. Thank you, Susan, for bringing that up.
I would like to add in on that myself.
Sure.
I mean, when I became selectman, we had a bunch of openings when we got here. We've been trying to fill different positions. The rec committee is looking for almost a whole new rec committee. which I don't know if you're applying that maybe the
Your sound's going out, David.
I'm mumbling, I'm sure. So so to go back to where I was going with this is the rec committee right now, I think it's got one member on it. That committee was full. That had absolutely nothing to do, I believe, with the select board. That was just a change of guard. That happens, especially when right now we've got COVID where nobody's playing sports, so nobody's interested in it. The other appointments that we have, we just made 3, which I'm pretty excited about. I've been advocating right along that I'd like to see some different people get involved, and we got some different people the other day. Not saying that the people who were there before weren't doing their job. I wish they hadn't left. I don't like the way that went down, but at the end of the day, it's tough for people to volunteer on these committees. I've heard it more and more from people that watch how some people are, and they don't want to be part of it. So it takes a special person to want to be on a committee in the town of Acton or any town that absorbs your time. You get involved with it, and it's no different than this selectman deal. There's a lot of work into this. One night a week, 2 nights, whatever. You're devoting your time, which you could be spending with your family or doing something else. So I believe we appreciate these committees and the boards for what they do. But I can't control whether or not they want to stay on or off a board or not.
Can I say another comment?
Oh, sure.
To go on with what you were saying, Ed, that, it's hard to get, you do see that a lot of the people that are volunteering are probably 50 plus, and I totally agree with that. You have a 30-year-old who has young children, just got married, just bought a house. They don't have time, and I get that, and it's really sad. But the truth is, we do have people that are 50 plus that are more than willing to donate their time, their energy, and their background. Every community, especially small communities, need volunteers. And a lot of times people will watch these meetings, whether on TV or Zoom, and sometimes they see how the volunteers are treated. And that may be something that everybody has to look at. And volunteer appreciation is not difficult. You don't have to spend money. You can do little things like, I don't know, invite them to the Christmas party. Seeing how they do a lot of work, why wouldn't they be invited to the Christmas party? But the other thing that I found distressing that I heard 2 weeks ago is that Miss Batchy was brought into the meeting, and I don't know how she was treated. I know when I was on the warrant and finance, one time somebody came in and they were not happy with the warrant and finance. None of us get paid. We're doing this out of the goodness of our heart. We should be thanked, not, put into a situation where you feel stressed out or whatever. I just think the volunteers should be appreciated, and you might get more volunteers.
Well, I think they are definitely appreciated. And what went on in that meeting was an executive session, and we're not going to get into that. There are times when even volunteers, we have to have a discussion and, help point people in the right direction and whatnot. So and that's all I'm going to say there. But, it's, even though you're a volunteer, you're not exempt from any of the state and local rules and regulations. And, so that's where I'm going to leave that. So Kim, did you want to wait? Where did Kim go?
She's out of the meeting. She got kicked out by accident, I guess. And
Okay.
get back in.
You're there. So, okay. Anything else you'd like to say, Susan?
No, just that, you know, you have over 10 people that you're looking for. You probably need to look in different avenues to bring people in. But I just, the last thing any town should want is people to leave a committee for any reason. Even, it's sad even if they leave just because their term is up.
Yep.
You know, I was one of those people, but I didn't, you know, and that's all. That's all I'm saying is it's really important for small communities to have volunteers. And I think we should embrace all the volunteers. I'm not saying that they're allowed to commit crimes or anything like that. I mean, obviously, that's not a good thing. But for the most part, none of the volunteers come here to commit crimes. They're coming with to help. And we should be grateful for that.
Thank you, and thank you for your perspective on that. So sometimes in positions like this, we can get tunnel vision as well. So none of us are perfect either. So
Right.
thank you. Appreciate it. Anyone else on the public comment? I don't see any hands being waved anywhere.
So there's a couple people that turned their videos on. So
Yep,
Nancy Joyce, did you want to speak?
No, all happy. Nope, not waving hands, shaking heads, no. So thank you very much. Okay, going once, going twice under public comment. Okay. Very good. Announcements. I don't see any on our sheet, so.
Never made it that far down.
Okay. Check the website, folks, for anything to do with announcements. Things are up on the website. So that's pretty much all we have, I think, from this side tonight. Once again, I'm just going to say condolences to the Letourneau family and the Langley family in their loss. And do I hear a motion to? I don't like to say I don't see Kim on here. Do I hear?
I'm communicating. I'm not sure what happened.
Okay, just need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
Okay, now second. It seems Kim is not on here. Moved and seconded to adjourn. With call for a vote. Yeah, moved and seconded. Call for a vote, Dave. Yes, I vote yes. That's it tonight, folks. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a safe week, and good night.